Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. If this is your first time checking out a video, please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility in the algorithm, and it's one of the best ways you can do to support the channel. Without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip of Get Up, talking about Justin Fields, and would it be better off for him to be a backup quarterback? I actually have a really strong opinion about this that I think would be, without a doubt, the best thing for Justin Fields. But it's risky, but the other way, I think, is even riskier. So let's take a listen to see what these guys have to say first, and then we can break it down from there.
Reaction Friday with Graziano. I'll say something, and you tell me if that something is an overreaction. So first, if I said Kirk Cousins would make Atlanta the biggest threat to San Francisco in the NFC, is that an overreaction?
Oh, yes, of course that's an overreaction. I think Atlanta has a chance to be a good team if they make that signing. Obviously a lot of good pieces. But look, I mean, they just replaced their coach. Like, obviously they're not starting from a wonderful starting point. And I think the Rams...
Hear you? A lot, plus I think the division is so much. We'll see. That said, it's probably an overreaction. Is this, if I said Justin Fields is going to wind up being a backup next year, is that an overreaction?
I still think it's an overreaction. I still think he ends up... Look, whatever he is or isn't, he was one of the top 32 quarterbacks in the league this past year. Like, he should be starting for someone. I think it's just a matter of finding the fit. It is going to have to be a place that knows that he needs still some more coaching, more development. We've talked about this, just 25 years old as of this week. But I think he's talented enough and he's shown enough in the league that someone will bring him in and he'll end up starting games next year.
I hope so. Starting to get more and more worried about this. Today's the one-year anniversary of the day Chicago made the trade that kept him there for one more season. All right, finally, if I said...
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. I don't think it's an overreaction. I really, really don't. And here's why. Justin Fields, when a team needs a quarterback, when they're desperate or they're in a bad situation, right? You don't have the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows, Patrick Mahomes. Oftentimes your team is just, either not that good at all, or they need an absolute savior, not unlike Tampa Bay when they went and got Tom Brady, where they're just one great quarterback away. Or maybe, a situation like with the Rams when they got Stafford. Obviously they had Goff, but let's say Goff went down, right? They needed just a level up at the quarterback, boom. Super Bowl. Or you're in a situation where the team is just a mess, right? It's like if they realize Bryce Young, which I'm not saying he is an absolute bust, and they're like, oh my God, we need a quarterback, that's not necessarily a situation that anyone wants to go to. Or say the Chicago Bears right now. And so with that being said, if Justin Fields goes to another team, let's say he went to the Panthers, which again, I know is not an opportunity for him. But let's say he went to the Panthers and he has this messy situation with a messy coach, no weapons, continues to just not play well for obvious reasons. It just ends up compounding everything that's already been said negatively about him. It will be so hard for him to kind of get another chance and to be able to bounce back. Not unlike Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold failed in New York and then was kind of given an opportunity with Carolina, mainly because of Baker, and then also wasn't successful, and now he's just pretty much being seen as like a bona fide backup quarterback, quite honestly. It worked out for Baker because Baker, at least in the very beginning, did show success with Cleveland, and he did win a playoff game. So he kind of demonstrated more competence than, say, a Justin Fields. For better or worse, that's just whether that's accurate or not, that's the perceived perception of it. I think right now, outside of a lot of diehard Chicago fans and Justin Fields fans, they would pick Baker over Justin Fields. As we can see that Baker Mayfield's going to probably get, a legit $35 million contract. And, won and, played and won another playoff game with Tampa Bay. So I think the better situation for Justin Fields is for him and his team to do their best to go to a great coach, an offensive head coach. And again, I'm not saying that these are necessarily options, but you do everything you can to try to say, let me go to Sean McVay, Andy Reid, Shane Steichen with the Colts, Detroit Lions with Ben Johnson. Like you do everything you can do to try to get in a situation where you are going to truly be able to learn and grow. And then there's a mystique factor. It's, well, hey, he's been with, and again, I know this is a made-up scenario, but, hey, he's been sitting behind Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. He's been learning, and Andy Reid is, the players, we're getting some leaks that the players are really impressed with what Justin Fields is doing in practices. He can really play. And then when one of those teams is, blowing out the other team and Justin Fields steps in for the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter and they're like, wow, Justin Fields was really moving well. He looked calm. He looked, he looked poised, and then that builds it up. And then it's like, now a team will like take more of a chance for him. And now also he's just built his skill level up. And so now if he had to go to a lower level team like the Carolina Panthers, then it's like, okay. He would be able to succeed potentially in that situation. He would be able to overcome more than he could right now. He cannot overcome anything right now. He cannot overcome not having weapons, not having an offensive line, not having a good OC, not having a good offensive head coach. He can't overcome any of that. He just can't. If he could, he would have done it in Chicago, and he didn't. It's that simple. So for him, being a backup quarterback right now is not a lifelong sentence of, well, he's just done as a starter. I don't believe that, not to mention in the NFL, quarterbacks have been getting injured a lot lately. I mean, last year was a free-for-all with injuries, okay? We're having second, third, fourth stringers starting. People that we don't even know their names, who they are, and then they play a couple good games, and everyone's like, oh my God, like Dobbs and I forget the other guy's name from Cincinnati right now. They're like, whoa, this guy's a dude. Is this guy going to be a starter? Like, what's going on here? My God. And they build up the story. And then, before the game starts, they do all these deep dives into their background. So-and-so always wanted to play in the NFL. He was not drafted and was, undrafted, and he never gave up on his dream. Blah, 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 blah. And they think, like, this is going to be a next big, massive story. And they play a couple good games, and then they're going to come back down to earth. With the New York Giants backup quarterback. Like, all those stories happen all the time. So as a backup quarterback, you get opportunity to play. You just do. You see it all the time. Marcus Mariota even, played a bunch. So it can happen. And before you know it, Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback from the Colts. And almost getting into the playoffs, almost beating CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. So the opportunities are there. So go do everything you can to try to find the best coach that you can learn and grow from, rather than just trying to say, I want to start. I don't care where it is. I want to start. Because if you start again and you fail, then it really is kind of a wrap. Then it really doesn't matter. And then a good coach might not even really care to have you as their backup quarterback. They might. They're like, yeah, I guess we'll kick the tires. So-and-so is getting a little bit older. He did have a bad injury last season. We'll kick the tires on him. But again, before you know it, you become Trey Lance. And no one even, what's the last thing you've heard about him? Is there any whispers of Trey Lance stepping up for Dak? Oh, they're going to trade Dak and Trey Lance is going to step up and be the starter. There's no whispers of that because no one has seen Trey Lance do anything, nor has he been growing and becoming a better player. And the biggest problem is that Shanahan, a great offensive mind, said, we don't want him. And that's an indictment against him. That's horrible. That's the last thing you need to have when you're a quarterback that has not proven yourself. So Justin Fields really needs to find himself in a good situation with a great coach. Take the pay cut. He's already made enough money to never have to work again. None of his family members, none of his children, his children's never have to work again. As long as you don't blow your money and be dumb, You might not be able to live this next level private jet life forever, but like you will be able, like he already has life-changing money. So he doesn't have to chase a paycheck. He doesn't have to chase a starting role. Just to bet on yourself is to take a backup quarterback role. Don't look at it as to bet on yourself is to bet on yourself and be a starter. That's actually not betting on yourself. That's saying I don't have the confidence that I'll be able to ball out as a second string quarterback or learn and grow. And then when I'm given the opportunity, either because of an injury or a blowout or another team gets injured, their quarterback gets injured and now they need someone, they're desperate, that you won't be able to rise to that occasion. That is where you bet on yourself, not just trying to find a starting role no matter what. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours on this one. Do you think Justin Fields should be a starter, or do you think he should try to go and back up somewhere? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then also please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really, really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.